Yes, YouTube, welcome back to the Crutchley Palace. And in today's video, you're probably struggling to get 3 darts in that triple 20 segment. I'm here to help you out. Now, I'm not a professional darts player, but I've been playing darts probably a similar time to what most of you guys have. And I've managed to progress my 180s from 0 all the way up to 100 plus. Now, I couldn't tell you how many I've hit in total, but we are currently on 68 of 2025, which isn't too bad for saying that I set a goal of 50 at the start of the year. When I first started playing darts, I didn't hit a 180 for over 6 months. It was the most frustrating thing in the world because as a darts player, every time we step up to that hockey, we want to hit a 180. And if you don't, stop trying to, because it's the maximum score you can get. I'd strongly advise getting one. The feeling of getting a 180 is a great feeling. Now, once you start hitting one, they will follow. But if you're struggling to stay consistent, hopefully these tips will help you get back on track to being a 180 machine. And if you've never hit one before, well, this video might be the reason or the beginning to you hitting a 180. Let's have a look at what advice I've got for you then, and hopefully we can get 3 darts in that treble bed. The first tip requires us to look a little bit closer into this treble 20 bed. Notice anything different? Of course you don't. Come closer. In this treble 20 bed, nothing's changed at the moment. However, we're going to take one of our trusty darts. I've got the Rob Cross 95K, and we're going to poke a big hole in the treble 20. And we're going to do the same up here, and we're going to do the same over here. Now, it's quite faint on camera, but from a distance you will be able to see these marking holes. The reason we've marked these holes is to make the target smaller so that the overall target becomes bigger. If we aim for a smaller part of the board, naturally the outer part of it becomes bigger. So psychologically, we've got a better chance of hitting that treble 20. Let's stick the tripod up and give you a few throws on what I mean and what I'm actually aiming for. So, standing 7'9" and 3/4 away from the bullseye, the holes in the board look a little bit more prominent. On camera, they probably don't show as well, but believe me, from the eye, they look more prominent. So, by looking at a smaller target, psychologically, the bigger target becomes bigger. I don't know how it works scientifically, but there's definitely science behind it. Stand up to the hockey as you usually would. Keep your eye fixated on that hole. And throw it. Now, that's unlucky. We've got one in either treble either side and one just above. So, we know that the accuracy is in and around that area. The trouble with just aiming for the treble 20, the target is almost too big and we throw ourselves off too quickly. So by aiming for something a little bit smaller, we'll ignore that. There are bloopers. There we go, there's one. There's 2. Oh, Ben, that's perfect, because that actually moves us on to our next tip. Following on from those last 3 darts then, I've left the 2 in the treble in the dartboard purposely, because my next tip is playing through traffic. The biggest psychological block when it comes to hitting a 180 is the fear of missing. You've already got 2 in the treble bed. Surely, just one more. It's easy, right? Not a chance. This is probably the one that got me my first 180. Just getting through those first 2 darts is the hardest thing. Sometimes there's a little bit of a block. The treble bed looks a lot smaller, and it's a lot harder to get 1 dart in a smaller bed. So all we're going to do is take our singular dart, leave the 2 in the treble, and just get used to playing through the traffic. Now that's landed slightly below. That's fine. We'll just take it out. Again, looking through, try and look through the darts rather than at them, if that makes sense. That's a little bit wide. This is the worst problem, that finding that last dart, but it'll come as soon as we can get used to finding that gap. We will find that 180, and it will come, because in a game situation, when you've got 2 in the bed, that third one will fly in a lot easier. Now, I don't know why my darts are drifting towards the right when the left side of the bed is a lot more open. Under again. But this is the beauty of practicing. If we can keep on hitting At those two, it will become second nature. I've gone right again. Right. Assess the situation, Ben. I'm rushing here. 2 in the bed. 1 dart. Oh, that's slightest of millimetres off. Again, to the right though. I'm not going to change my foot positioning because I believe I've got a good view. There we go. 3 in a bed. And we're just going to keep rinsing and repeating that. Now, from this, I'm going to take 3 dots out the dartboard. We're going to go back to tip 1 and we're going to try and hit that 180. If we've got 2 in the treble bed, take the 3rd that's missed and keep on going until it's in there. Rinse and repeat that process and I guarantee them 180s will start flying. Guys, I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers and we're over halfway there. Much appreciated. Thank you to everybody that's jumped on board. Now, there's a big giveaway. When we get to 1,000 followers, one of you lucky subscribers is going to be walking away with a good amount of goodies. So get subscribed, get sharing this channel to your mates, and as always, it's much appreciated. That red button down there, if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. On to the last tip then. This last tip then is inspired by the world number 4, Stephen Bunting, and something that's only just come to my knowledge. It's something I've only been using for the past couple of weeks if I do struggle with that centre point accuracy. And if you've got a piece of string or a measuring tape hockey, it's perfect. All we're going to do is take one of our darts and place it at the top of the 20. Ideally through the centre. So that's going to go through there like that. And we're going to draw the line centre of the treble 20 as central as we can go, and then place the second one into the bullseye. We now have a straight line through the treble 20. Now I understand this tape measure is a little bit thick, so there's not much room either side. Stephen Bunting does in fact use a piece of string, but for my pinpoint accuracy there is a line going through the centre of this tape measure which I'm going to use as reference. You don't have to, you can use a piece of string, you can use something as thick as this, but the thinner the material, similar to that tip 1, the smaller the target, the bigger the target around it becomes. So we're going to give this a go, see if we can pin a 180 using the Stephen Bunting string technique, if you want to call it. Yeah, let's give it a go. String is in place then, we've got a challenge on our hands. Let's try and get a 180 and split that string in 2. Not a bad start, 81. First one's in there. Oh, that's awful. That's terrible. Try and straighten that string a little bit. I think the first dart's absolutely mullered it. There we go. That's unlucky. 81 again. Not touching the measuring tape though. Seem to be avoiding it. Oh well. That's slightly under. Poor throws from me though. Poor throws. Oh wow, that was bad. The release felt awful on that. For whatever reason, this just throwing me off a little bit. It never usually does. Camera can play a big part. Yeah, wow. That's going all over the place. Welcome to darts. Yeah, 26. Get in there. Cheers, Bunting. Right, we'll have 2 more tries at this. It's not my favourite of the exercises, but it is a great one to get that central line. Before I enter these last 2 attempts, let me know how many 180s you've hit, and I'll know that because if you've watched this far in the video and I see a random number in the comments, I know you've watched this far, so you're an absolute legend. Last 2 attempts then. Too low. We're on that central line, which is good, but oh, these points have absolutely taking this measuring tape to pieces. Sorry, measuring tape. Last one then. That's a shame. Oh well, take into account what you want, but I can guarantee with plenty of practice, these will definitely improve your 180 accuracy, or hopefully get you that first 180. If you hit your first 180 from this video, let me know. Drop it in the comments. If not, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Yeah, bosh.
Like and subscribe.
Bosh.
Bye, friends.